Welcome to Grumpy Vegan Grandad. And what have we got today? Well, it's a bit of a reaction video. It's only a short one, so I thought I'd just go over some of the news that I've collected over the past few months. Every time I see something interesting, I just save it to my little folders on Facebook. But let's go through some of the things that have been happening in the last few months. So, firstly, get off. What the hell? So, firstly, the US plant-based food sales surge, market now worth $5 billion. So, the US sales of plant-based food surged by 11% in 2019, bringing the total plant-based market value to $5 billion. That's quite a lot of money. And the data was released today by the Good Food Institute and the Plant-Based Food Association. What date is this? This was, it's quite recent one, March the 3rd, 2020. So, it's worth a lot of money. And this actually brings me nicely on to a couple of points. The society we live in is a capitalist society, which means it's led by companies, monopolies. And unfortunately, we are all victims of capitalism. I have got a little article somewhere, but I won't look for it at the moment. And it goes on about how some of the vegan businesses have closed in Devon. And unfortunately, this is the trade-off we're going to have to sort of put up with, because once the big companies get involved, that's it. I mean, for example, Glastonbury was a group of people coming together playing some music, and now it's been taken up by the big companies. Everybody's there, from Mackie D's to Subway. Everybody's there. They've Coca-Cola, and it's been taken over by the capitalist gangs, and this is something we have to put up with. And I've noticed a lot of infighting. You're going to have to excuse. I don't know whether you can hear the dog barking next door, but good burglar alarm for me, actually. I know somebody's coming up one of our drives. But unfortunately, this means that this infighting that's going on with vegans at the moment on vegan pages about should we boycott McDonald's and Burger King and KFC because they're bringing out these vegan options. Well, personally, I don't think we should. I think we should embrace it and get it and keep it going. I mean, my example is Greggs. Greggs have now brought out vegan hot cross buns, some accidentally vegan things like the Belgian bun. They brought out the steak bake, the sausage roll, and the CEO of Greggs is now vowing to bring a lot more vegan products into Greggs, and before you know it, Greggs could be totally vegan. And is that a bad thing? Is that really a bad thing? So who's to say that the other big companies won't follow suit as demand changes? And this is what we've got to do. We've got to take control of the big companies and say, look, there's a demand for this, keep them coming. By boycotting this stuff's going to disappear. And then what? I mean, the biggest tool in a vegan's toolkit at the moment, when people get confronted, or people, I shouldn't say confront really, when I talk to people who eat meat, and I talk to them about veganism, the first thing they come back to me with is, Well, I wouldn't know what to eat. I wouldn't know where to start. And when you can go Burger King, Greg's, McDonald's, Subway, pizza places, Pizza Hut, Asda, say, you can list all these places where you can get. In fact, somebody asked me at the gym this morning. I went to Aldi the other day and I couldn't find any plant-based foods. And he's a meat eater, but he was thinking about cutting down, yeah? And I said, there is stuff in there, but if you go to some of the big supermarkets, you'll find it a lot easier. And then start there, and then you know where to look. I always send people to Iceland, because there's a full vegan fridge there. Everything's in there, one place. Just walk in there blind, and everything in there, you know, is vegan. And this is the way we're heading. So no, I don't think we should boycott these fast food places. And when they say, well, they're responsible for the deaths of all these animals, aren't Asda, aren't Sainsbury's, isn't Aldi? Don't they sell meat? Don't they buy and procure these items from abattoirs and buy in bulk? Don't they? Of course they fucking do. So yeah, it's important. It's important that we bite the bullet and buy these products, or at least push people towards them. Here's a nice one, and I splashed this all over Facebook. Experts at major cardiology conference agree vegan diet reigns supreme. More than 3,000 cardiology experts came together at a major conference last week, with all the speakers promoting plant-based diets as the healthiest. This was 1st of March 2020. Now, one of my friends, I won't name him, posted this cardiology guy who's very anti-vegan. I forget his name. I'm not even going to search him out, to be honest with you. But he's saying vegan burgers and fast food can cause heart attacks. So I just replied with, well, it's junk food. It puts weight on people. It's not a healthy food. Yeah, it's going to have a similar effect as a normal burger. Slightly more healthy, but it's not healthy. I agree with you. And then I said, but who's this guy? He's a cardiology expert. What's he going to know about nutrition? Is he nutritionally trained? And this was my ace. So he came back at me and said, he's a cardiologist. He knows how these things are affected, how the food affects hearts and heart health and all this stuff. He's an expert. He knows. And I said, oh, okay. So then, using that philosophy and that evidence, you'll agree with this then. And I posted this: 3,000 cardiology experts say that plant-based diet is the best for heart health. Boom, got him. They held a conference, and they do it every year in Washington, D.C. Michelle Obama, who's an outspoken advocate for healthy eating, delivered the keynote speech. But for the first time in the history of the event, this year's CRT conference included a debate session dedicated to nutrition. However, all the experts on the panel agreed that plant-based nutrition is best for heart health. All of them. So cool. So cool. What else is happening? We've got vegan hiking, safety and work boots, vegetarian shoes, UK. Should we have a look? Let's see how much these things are, because I'm being sick of paying through the nose. So yeah, look, safety boots, 74 quid. Recon boots, whatever them are. Doing a bit of recon, 109 quid. They're not too bad. They're not too bad. They look pretty. Vegan Trekker Mark 5, 179 quid. No, I won't be buying any of them. But no, I think that's reasonably priced. 69 quid for a jungle trail boot. That's not a safety boot. That's just a nice jungle trail boot, so it looks like it's going to be waterproof and protective or whatever. So yeah, worth having a look at. Who are those? Let's have a look. It's called vegetarian shoes. So have a look at those guys. Yeah, though there it is. Devon loses 4 vegan businesses in 1 week. Just one of those things. Maybe when more and more people move towards a vegan and plant-based diet and the ingredients come down, because this is where the problems start, is that we pay through the nose as vegans for a lot of stuff because there's not a big enough demand. But as demand goes up, prices will come down. Household cavalry troops. Household cavalry troops are moonlighting as paid fox hunting security guards in a £20,000 deal. See, this is the rich elite. This is the rich elite, but shame on them. The troops have been protecting trail hunt in a deal apparently worth 20k. Army top brass have now slapped a ban on soldiers working any more hunts. Good. But the snidey bastards. You know what I mean? It's like, you might as well employ the police as well, when they're supposed to be protecting, not friggin' causing more misery. Cheeky buggers. Are plant-based veggie burgers actually healthy? Forks over knife. What's this? Cut meat and dairy intake by a fifth, report urges. No, just cut it completely. Fucking cut it completely. And let's have a look at Joaquin. Angry farmers find Joaquin Phoenix's Oscar speech detestable. Of course they are. Joaquin Phoenix's Oscar award-winning speech has upset the dairy industry that feels he is out of touch and blinded to the sacrifice and struggles of America's dairy farmers. Listen, dairy farmers of America, it's your doing. You're struggling because you're trying to make the milk cheap. It's cheap and people are moving away from it now, and people are seeing the truth and they're seeing what you do. You can't blame Joaquin for just telling the truth. Dairy farmers, if everything you do is okay, you post this stuff out. Show us shooting the calves. Show us milking the cows till their udders are so sore that they produce pus and blood. Show us all this stuff, and then we can all make an informed decision. Show us the evidence that your milk is good for you, that it's healthy. Even though Canada has taken it off the healthy eating register. I don't feel sorry for the dairy farmers. I do not feel sorry for you. You can find something else to do. I've been made redundant so many times in my life, and I've found other work to do. So I don't feel sorry for you. Stop doing that shit. You know it's wrong. You've got away with it this long. The tide's turning. It's game over. Time out. Fuck off. Well done, Joaquin. Well done. So, let's have a look at this video. And let's have a quick... So we've got Sarah Jane Honeywell and Jess Puraskar. And as a side note, I've actually contacted Jess, the girl who's feeding her kid vegan food. She's on holiday at the moment, but she has promised me a Skype interview, and I'm going to chat with her in the next few weeks or so. But if you've got any questions that you want me to ask Jess, because she does vegan cakes as well, she runs a vegan cake business. If you've got any questions for me to ask her, please put them down below under this video and I will ask her. Any questions at all you want me to ask her, okay? So let's have a look and do a reaction.
Love it or loathe it, veganism is on the rise with the number of people choosing a plant-based diet quadrupling between 2014 and 2018, and recent figures show 1 in 12 parents are raising their children as vegan.
But some experts are warning it is difficult for a child or baby to get all the nutrition they need from a vegan diet.
We're joined now by Sarah Jane Halliwell, a vegan mother who won't force her views on her children, and Jess Porazgar, who's bringing up her 11th-month-old, Jonathan, who's in the studio with us as a vegan baby. There he is.
Well, look at him. Oh my God. No. Look at that baby. He looks drawn. He looks pale. He looks emaciated. His skin looks horrible. He's full of spots.
Happy this morning, and we're also joined by Dr. Hillary to give us a medical.
Oh, Dr. Hillary.
As well. So Sarah Jane, let's start with you. You are vegan.
I am, yes.
But you've decided not to bring your children up as vegan.
No, I don't want to put my views on my children. I don't think you should.
I don't want to put my views on my children. So what she's doing is it's as though it's a political view. It's as though it's a religious view. I could understand if she was a Catholic or a Muslim or a Hindu, or I could understand. I don't want to put my religious views onto my child until they can make their own decisions. I could understand that. But your views on animal abuse, not abusing animals, you don't want to put your non-violent, compassionate views onto your child. Oh, it's mind-blowing.
Put your religious, dietary or political views on your children. I think we have children to guide them to their own destination, not my destination. I mean, my husband, he eats meat anyway, so he can cook all the meat.
Is anybody thinking what I'm thinking? It's the husband who's wearing the pants in this relationship. He's talked her into this, I think. Only guessing, just to guess. What do you guys think? Is it because their husband's not vegan and he sort of said, look, love, I don't want you to bring my child up with all this bullshit, so we'll feed him meat and then we'll let him make his own mind up when he's older, yeah? She's gone, yeah, it's all right then. I think that.
What your thing?
It's not my thing at all. But yeah, basically, I want my children to make their own decisions. I don't want them to live outside of society, because basically that's what you do if you're a vegan.
Outside of society? Yeah, I live in a forest. I live in a forest up a tree, in a tree house, in the middle of Nottingham Forest, like Robin Hood. I don't live with society. It's annoying me already.
Before they're ready to, and also being vegan can be quite lonely socially, and I want them to be
lonely socially. So suddenly you're vegan and all your friends abandon you and you just sat there on the curb like that. Got no friends. I haven't got any friends because I'm a twat. But come on. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean about KFC, McDonald's, and all the other big places, all the restaurants, all serving vegan options. That stops that. It stops that split. We can all go and eat together if we wish to.
Be able to go to parties and not have to think about serious things until they're ready. And when they're ready, I will tell them the absolute truth in varying degrees. Obviously, I'm not going to sing, oh, McDonald had a farm and slaughtered all the animals, but I will tell them the truth.
Right, so you're not going to sing, oh, McDonald had a farm and slaughtered all the animals. So you're not going to tell them the truth. You're not telling them the truth. What? Make your mind up. Are you going to tell them the truth? Or you're not going to tell them the truth. So you're lying to your children. So you just...
As they're ready, and then they can make their own decision.
Jessica, you've made a different decision.
Absolutely, yeah.
You also a vegan mum, and you've decided to bring up your baby vegan.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
in Sarah Jane's view, you're imposing your choice. on your.
Oh, that's
a
better.
really strange way of putting it, to be honest, because it's not imposing your views, it's raising your child, which is what every parent does. Like, parents bring their
Well done,
children
Jess.
up with their ethics, with their morals and stuff. Like, I wouldn't, bring my child up and say, well, we're not racist, but, knock yourself out, kid.
I think that's the same thing, though.
No.
Yes, it is the fucking same thing.
But I think Jessica's point is that you are, even by not bringing up your child as vegan, you're still imposing a view on your child.
Yes, of course.
Because they're children.
And it is my
They don't have
husband's
their own
view.
views,
But
that
I
is.
suppose I just want them to try everything
It's my husband's views. Told you.
food-wise, so they can make up their own minds.
Jessica, I think that a lot of people worry about nutrition. So,
Yeah.
Dr. Hillary, are there nutritional concerns when it comes to raising a child as a vegan? Professor Mary Futrell of University College London says in the worst cases, not feeding your child the right nutrients, if you're bringing them up this way, can lead to a fatality.
It can do in extreme cases, but certainly it can lead to deficiencies. And there are many children who are deficient in iron in this country, deficient in omega-3.
Yes, it's a vegans.
B12.
Yes, it's a vegans.
etc. So it's much more difficult
Thanks, doctor.
to raise a child on a vegan diet. You have to be something of an expert, which Jess obviously is.
And you're saying that,
it's perfect.
Right, hold on a minute. So you've got to be an expert. You've got to be an expert in what? What are you an expert in? An expert?
Perfectly possible, but you've only got a window of opportunity for full brain development in the first 2 years of life, and unless you take that window of opportunity, they will never reach their full potential. So omega-3, really important. B12, iron, calcium, iodine, these things you might not easily get from a vegan diet.
Well, you can get B12 from nearly everything, including cereals and milks. You can get supplements. Iodine, you can get from Nourish Sheets. You can get it from multivitamins, which I took multivitamins when I was a kid. So do loads of other kids. Iron, spinach, greens. What's he talking about?
And unless you're careful, those children won't get their full development. So you just have to be really expert in the diet that you provide for them.
I think
Where is it? I don't understand where you got to be an expert, right? I think a more fair thing to say would be research, a little bit of research. But don't all mums have to be experts? Do you not have to be an expert if you're feeding your kid meat? So is it, as long as you give your kid a steak every day, that's fine, is it? They're going to get all the vitamins. Where are they going to get the vitamin C from? Where do you get the vitamin C from then? If you just give them meat, what's this? I don't like Dr. Hillary's twat.
that's the same with a meat-eating diet, though, as well. Like, there's loads of people who would bring their children up eating nothing but, pasta and cheese, and
Jess, she's nailed it.
range
Sure.
of nutrients
Yeah.
as well. But they're not going to come under a microscope like I am, just because we're not giving them animal products at all. But
I think B12 is an iodine for me. I mean, I have a bad diet. I just eat crisps and Diet Coke, so I am not a great mum. I can't even cook, so again, I'm not great in that aspect. But I would worry.
Right, so now we're getting to the crux of it, aren't we? Right, she has Diet Coke and crisps every day, and she can't cook. Right, so her husband does all the cooking. So it's all to do with the husband. This, her husband's thinking, all you eat is Diet Coke and crisps. You can't cook. I'll cook, but I'm gonna have to cook meat. That's why your kid's been brought up with meat. It's fuck all to do with your ideas.
If my children were vegan, about the B12 and the iodine thing, because I know from my own experience, when I have had a healthy diet as a vegan, I've still kind of suffered a little bit with that. So from my own personal point of view, I don't feel confident I would be able to be clever enough to give my child a varied diet.
Jess, Jonathan's just little at the moment. He's 11 months, just started tottering around and looks very happy and noisy and gorgeous. Are you worried slightly about when he gets a bit bigger and he's going to little kids' parties,
Not
and
at
there's
all.
little sausages and stuff, and he's going to be sort of making those
I mean,
choices.
the good thing is, because, as we said, veganism is so on the rise, there are so many other vegan parents out there. Like, when I was pregnant, I went to an antenatal
Just as
class,
good.
made friends with 6 other mums, and 2 of us are vegan already, so he's already got a vegan friend, like, that's being raised vegan as well.
Will he only go
So-
to parties with vegan friends then?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm a baker, so I'm quite happy to, like, provide loads of sweet treats for him.
Do you worry about having to police that though, and also him suddenly realising there's stuff that he can't have when his friends are having it, and it all looks delicious?
Not really, because everything I provide him is delicious, and I can easily provide him the alternatives, which will go down just as well. There's literally nothing out there that there isn't a vegan alternative for now. I mean,
I do worry about eating disorders as well, though, because I think if you restrict children, certainly from my experience with anything, you can cause them to obsess about it and want it more. I know, for example, a friend of mine didn't have any chocolate or anything like that when they were younger, so now they have to eat a whole packet of biscuits, whereas I was allowed to eat whatever I want.
So if you restrict something from a kid, they'll want it more, they'll obsess about it. I'm not going to feed my kid leaves off the tree. Does that mean the kid's going to obsess about leaves on the tree? Or do you think she's talking about sugar addiction? That gives a dopamine response very similar to cocaine. Do you think she's talking about chocolate? Yeah?
I've been able to make a choice about my diet.
Jessica, if your little baby Jonathan decides, at a party to eat, a sausage on a stick, and you don't get there in time, what would you feel? Or if, when he's 4 or 5 says, actually, I don't like all this alternative stuff, I just want to eat what my friends are eating at school.
well, I'd be disappointed, obviously. I would tell him the truth about where it comes from. We're going to be raising him to know exactly where it comes from, and I'm not going to show him slaughterhouse videos, obviously. But the fact that you wouldn't show a child a slaughterhouse video shows how violent and horrific it is. And we want to bring our children up to be compassionate. We want to bring them up to be kind to animals. Everyone brings their child up to be kind to
But
animals.
what if he decides that, having taken all of that into account, actually he wants to carry on eating meat? Would you stop
5
him?
years old, for example?
Yeah, for instance.
Yeah, absolutely, I would.
You'd allow him
still-
to, or you'd stop him?
I'd stop him, because it's still my choice to raise him at that age, and every parent would make their decisions for them. If at 5 years old he saw someone drinking a beer or smoking a cigarette and said, I want to try that, of course I'd say, no, you can't try
She's
that.
brilliant, isn't she? She's got it. I don't need to speak.
I think that's a reasonable age. When I was a child, I wanted to go vegetarian, and my parents wouldn't let me until I was 16. So, I had that.
I do think that we don't own our children, they kind of own us. And I think I don't know, I wouldn't, obviously, if my sons want a motorbike when they're older, I'm going to struggle with that. But it is their life, and as long as they're kind to people and they understand about life and they know about everything, then it's their choices to make.
Do you give Jonathan supplements?
He has a vitamin supplement, a multivitamin supplement every day, which is the NHS requirement for all babies, whether they're vegan or not.
She's doing a good job, isn't she?
Are there statistics on generally how much healthier or not healthy a vegan diet is for children or for adults? I mean,
It's difficult to say
overall.
Because how many people are giving a fully nutritional vegan diet to children? We don't know, and we don't know how expert they are, and how many children.
Expert.
But as the Professor Futrell says, they have done research at UCH, and they do discover deficiencies and malnutrition in the worst instances. So if it exists, that's a worry, and I don't doubt
It exists in everything. It exists in all diets.
and her expertise. But not many people who want to embark down this route will actually be feeding their children an adequate diet.
We're getting heckled by Jonathan now. I think Jonathan's decided
So what he's saying is not everybody who goes down this route of veganism, bringing the kids up veganism. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's assuming, he's making assumptions again that he doesn't know. Where's his proof? He's got no evidence at all. There's loads of kids that are suffer from malnutrition in the whole world, and most of them are meat eaters. Giving your kid a good diet is nothing to do with being an expert. It's to do with just being sensible. Fruits, vegetables, beans. You know what I mean? You don't feed your kid biscuits and chocolate every day, do you? But you don't need to be an expert to know that.
He's had enough.
Yeah, it's breakfast time, I think, isn't
In
it?
fact, he is making noises our producer is making in our ear as well. Because sadly we're out of time.
Well, good luck with it all. Interesting to talk to you. Thank you so much.
you.
Our producer isn't eloquent as Jonathan, that's the problem. Lots of people getting in touch. I mean, huge response, haven't we?
On Twitter, more than 19,000 of you voting in our poll, an overwhelming 79% say that no, you shouldn't raise your baby as a vegan. But I don't know how many of those are vegans.
Yeah, they didn't say that.
Probably fucking none.
I'm not vegan, that's my choice for me. I gave my daughter the best start in life, health-wise, by feeding her meat and fish. When she's old enough, she can make her own decision like I did. And then...
Yeah, so you fed your kid saturated fat and cholesterol and mammalian hormones and antibiotics and... What's this poll got to do with anything? What people don't even know about? Why are they asking people to vote? Who are these people voting? What the fuck do they know? It's unbelievable. I've had enough of it. I'm annoyed again. The Society for Dietetics and Nutrition say that a properly planned vegan diet is adequate for all stages of life, including breastfeeding, pregnancy, infancy, old age, throughout the life. Properly planned. But any diet needs to be properly planned. It's not vegan specific. Grumpy Vegan Grandad. Super grumpy. Save the animals, save the planet, save yourself. Go vegan.